Andrew, do you know who Chase Young is?
Yeah, of course.
No. My point is, I don't either.
Before I said that Cade Cunningham would never be an All-Star, and I just wanted to double down on that.
Oh,
I just.
We're back
What's going
with
on with
another.
Mike's video?
I know.
Got some surprising stuff happening in the NBA playoffs. Here we go. What up, JAMM Squad? I'm MK. I'm your host. I'm here with John and Tesla Mays. And we ain't going to talk about NBA playoffs. Is Drew ain't here? He fall asleep before the stream this time? What happened? What's going on, fellas?
What's up, man?
No, like the whole goal this week was to keep him awake for the entire episode. Where is he at? Drew. You're missing out, my man. You're missing out. Some surprising stuff happening in the NBA playoffs since we last spoke. You got the Knicks playing the Pacers, and Knicks ended up taking game 121 to 117. Anybody else expect that? I know it was a surprise to me.
I mean, I didn't expect them to be down by as much as they were before they came back. That's crazy that the Pacers may be done after game 1, unfortunately.
Yeah, a lot of consistency out of Jalen Brunson. That guy's a freaking monster. He's just going on a tear, man. He's a beast.
That's his fourth straight 40-point game, and getting a lot of help, man. I'm shocked at how many rebounds Josh Hart is getting every game. I want to say the last, what was it? The last like 5 or 6 games went like this. Let's see here. Where did I go? He had 13 rebounds this last game, tonight's game, 14 rebounds the game before, then dropped to 9, then to 17 rebounds, then dropped to 6, then 15 rebounds and 13 rebounds. Dude, he's playing like a big man out there. It's wild.
And he never comes out. That dude plays like literally every minute of the game, which is even more amazing to me.
Well, I think that's just characteristics of a Thibodeau team. Everybody wants to play for Tibbs till you got to play all game, and then I don't want to play for Tibbs. Ask D Rose if he wants to. how he enjoyed that.
Now or back then?
Exactly. Yeah, no, dude. Brunson's playing on fire, and I had seen some tweet that like. Since he originally was playing for the Mavericks, right, under Carlisle, who's now with the Pacers. Well, in one game 7 of the playoffs, he only played like limited minutes, and then got benched for the remainder of the game. And somebody had tweeted out like he's not gonna forget that. Shows up in game 1 with a 43-point game. That's ridiculous. Who do you guys think? Who do you guys think is taking the series though?
Man, I think it's hard to beat the Knicks. I mean, I do. I think the Pacers have the players to do it. You know, I think they have a good starting rotation. I like who's coming off the bench, but I just think the Knicks are just more consistent right now. You can't turn into a jump shooting team, with some of these Pacers players and not finishing around the basket, not grabbing enough boards. Not a great look. But I think it's hard to beat the Knicks right now.
Mike, who you taking in this series?
Yeah, I mean, this was the Pacers game to steal, and unfortunately, because they lost it, I think they might be cooked like my face right now. No, I mean, like, okay, so Siakam 8 for 16, shot 50%. I mean, the reality is, hey, Pacers aren't just don't play defense, right?
Mhm.
And if you don't play defense, I mean, defense wins you championships. If you look at what the Timberwolves are doing right now to the defending champions, like, it's just impressive what's going on over there. But I mean, TJ McConnell is basically your leading scorer. I mean, I know Miles Turner had 23, McConnell had 18. Like, that's just not going to get it done. They kind of got production from everyone. No one really like tore it up for the Pacers, and they lost. I mean, I don't know what to do. They shot 53%, 52% from the field. But they let the Knicks shoot 54% from the field. Like these are incredibly shooting numbers, and you're just not going to outscore the Knicks. They got the best star on the court in Brunson. That being said, Brunson having 14 free throws.
Yeah.
Like what is this, James Harden 2.0? I mean, future Hall of Famer Brunson.
I was about to say maybe that's how you get to the Hall of Fame. Though you just get to the line 50% of the time.
Hey man, if you lead the league in points, it might help, right? But I mean, I just don't know. I mean, Miles Turner, they really don't have a big, right? So, and Pacers I mean, Knicks are still down, their starting center. They're still down Julius Randle. Like, it's pretty incredible what's going on. I know Andrew, since he no longer can root for his Lakers, was rooting for the Knicks. So, but I'm pretty sure he called the Pacers in this game since he's not here to verify. I think we all agree that he called the Pacers in this game.
That's what I heard.
And I'm pretty sure he called the Nuggets in the next game, so he's 0 for 2 today.
Pretty sure I heard that too.
Yeah.
Starting out 0-2, Drew. Not a good look for you, my man. Speaking of Minnesota's playing Denver right now. Minnesota is already up 1-0. And looks like they're going to be taking game 2. They're up 22 right now with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And I mean, you alluded to it, Mike. Defense. Aaron Gordon's shooting 6 for 11. Michael Porter Jr. 4 for 11. Jokic 5 for 12. Jamal Murray 3 for 15. Like, it's just all the way down the box score. Are they just stunning the crap out of the Nuggets? Because I swear the Nuggets would have been in the championship game, right? After, I think nobody wanted to play the Nuggets, especially those guys that were coming in through the play-in games. But I think they're just getting manhandled right now. Do you think they have enough to come back at all?
I think they do. I mean, they're the Nuggets. They're the defending champs at the end of the day, but there's some major adjustments that need to happen. I mean, Minnesota is picking up full court on everybody, just slowing, making them, kind of pestering them. They got long defenders on Jamal Murray and Walker Alexander. They're just pestering them, and that's ultimately what they are. They're just lengthy guys who kind of know their roles, right? And it's not like they're killing it. I mean, I know they're shooting 48% from the field, but they're only 37% from three-point land. They don't even have the defensive player of the year, Rudy Gobert, out there. I mean, it is, if you told me this is what was going to happen in game 2, I wouldn't have believed you. Like, most teams are content to still win on the road, and Minnesota looks like they're not going to lose a game in the playoffs. I mean, at this point, it's pretty impressive what's going on. I think this proves my point that Lakers should have tanked in the play-in game, so they didn't even have to go through the Nuggets to go to the championship. But no, the reality is I don't think anyone expected this from this Minnesota team. Although, that being said, number 1 defensive team throughout the year, number 1 defensive team so far through the playoffs. So, in a league where it's all offense, it's kind of interesting to see this defense, pick up a little bit in the playoffs, which is, what hasn't been over the norm over the last few years.
What do you see, John?
I like. I mean, so only 3 players off the bench, but I do like their depth. For Minnesota, I think Reed is a nice, stand-in. We'll call it reliever to Towns when Towns needs a breather, and Reed's got 14 points off the bench and he's doing his thing. They're right now Timberwolves running with 8 players while the Nuggets run with 9. So, if you don't have to use all your players, everyone gets some rest and you're still kicking butt, you're in good shape. You're up by 20, with 7:13 left in the fourth, and it looks like you're going to breeze through this game. I don't know. Anthony Edwards looks like a man on a mission, and he's taking. He looks. I love his body language. He looks like you can just put the world
Yes.
on his back, and he will take it. He's gonna take this team, and that's a scary thing, And again, we're talking about best team in the league, in my opinion, with the Nuggets, and he's making them look little. I guess I don't know how to say that, but awesome series so far, in my opinion, because the Timberwolves are just coming, swinging at everything that's in front of them, and they're not missing much.
Is it just me, or is it Edwards' mentality that is kind of taking over? Not backing down from any challenges. I'm gonna dunk it no matter who's in my way, whether it's KD, whether it's whoever. I'm still gonna take it straight down the lane. Still gonna pick you up on defense. Like we've seen guys like that obviously have become great, and I'm not trying to project that like he's gonna be greatest of all time or anything like that, but he's definitely got a bright future of him. Is it just me, or are we lacking more guys with that mentality in the league?
Sure, like I agree 100%. I think you feed off that if you're his teammates. I think Karl Anthony Towns is a better player because he's feeding off of Ant-Man. I think people get more looks when you're Anthony Edwards, who's gonna go down the middle, and you bring an extra defender. Now you have people that are open, right? And you're just doing things that, oh my, it's amazing what he's doing. You're doing things that haven't been done in a long time, and he's making his back end turnaround shots. He's making and he's just so hyped about doing it, and it gets your teammates hyped up too. I love what I'm seeing out there.
What do you like with him, Mike?
I mean, the guy, this is he's not going to get 35 today, but he's had 3 straight games in the playoffs with 35. But 55% shooting, 57% shooting, 57% shooting. Today, 62% shooting.
Oof.
It's efficiency, right? And
yeah,
did you see that fadeaway in the third quarter? 2 guys on him, turn around, but at the end of the shot clock, gets it up, money. He's taking quality looks, he's making them. But all right. So let me ask you guys a question. Like, do you think these superstar? Remember how the team ups, the superstars, the duo, right? Yeah, Clippers got Kawhi and PG, right? Is the day of that over? And now it's like you got your star, surround them with a bunch of people who know their roles, play defense, lengthy defenders, and let them go to work. Because look at these teams. You got Jalen Brunson.
Yep.
Outside of Jalen Brunson, who you got? Right? Even the Celtics, yeah, you got Tatum and Brown, but I don't know that I'd say Brown is like this,
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Like
once they paid him that big contract, I still agree with you with your statement.
Right. And look at even the Nuggets. Like, to an extent, I was telling a buddy and I were talking about this, and initially I was like, well, no, Nuggets got Jamal Murray, and he's like, Jamal Murray's never even been an All-Star. He's just an All-Star versus the Lakers, and I'm like, really?
Yeah,
and I'm
he's
like,
never
that's
been
true.
an All-Star.
Right. Yep. So realistically, and guys who know their role, right? Like Aaron Gordon, who took obviously a downgrade in pay potentially, right, to go sign to not be the superstar on the Magic like he was, and lengthy guys like Porter Jr., right?
Mhm.
Who knows his roles, right? It's really an interesting shift or dynamic in the league, right? And it'll be interesting to see Dallas, because I still think Dallas has, obviously the two stars, but the reality is they beat the Clippers because of their role players, not because of their two stars. I mean, when all was said and done.
I don't know if the super team, the team up, is gonna go away, but I definitely think the Wolves are proving that you don't necessarily have to. Like you still need your 1-2 punch, no matter where you go, right? Kobe needed Shaq, Jordan needed Pippen, right? I don't think it'll ever be just your one major superstar, and then, um, and then let him cook. I mean, you're gonna need that Dennis Rodman, right? You're gonna need Porter Jr., right? Even though Jamal Murray wasn't an All Star, the bubble championship that the Lakers ended up taking, right? They defeated the Nuggets without Jamal, right? That's the only time they've ever defeated the Nuggets, was without Murray. But with Murray, for whatever reason, the they can't handle the duo. And all of a sudden Jamal Murray just relishes going off on the Lakers, which, you know, I I think there's too many egos in play, I guess. Um who is willing enough, who's going to be that Iguodala on the team? Okay, I'm going to step back. I'm not going to be the starter. I'll step back. I'll take a six-man role. I'll come off the bench, be a helper, right? Just like Sean Livingston was supposed to be an all-star, got hurt, injuries didn't play out in his favor. Still a really good baller. Amazing to have coming off the bench though. Like, dude, who else is gonna play old man ball, make those old man moves, and be a bucket coming off the bench?
I,
Jamal Crawford, same thing. Go ahead.
I hear you, but I also think the duo, I think it depends on your positioning for the duo. So, for example, you named it, right? You said Kobe Shaq. If we look at right now, it's Anthony Edwards and Carl Anthony Towns.
Yep.
It's Jokic and Murray. When I say these specific duos, it's it's a guard slash forward and a center versus the Clippers, who have it's Kawhi and PG, right? And so if you don't have I'm not saying that neither of them could play a big man, but it's hard to play a small big man in today's game, right? So I think it just depends on the duo. The Jordan and Pippen, that was a good duo, but they had really strong foundation pieces, right?
Yeah.
Kukoc can shoot that three, Steve Kerr could shoot the three, and Rodman's going to gather everything around him, right? So I mean, I just think I think it depends on the duo. But Mike, I hear you, because I like that point. I think it's a good point. If we're on the Timberwolves, and I just have a whole bunch in front of me, but you know, Edwards and Towns is the 1-2 punch, and you got Reed, who's a center, shooting 4 for 8, right, from 3-point land. You have Alexander shooting 4 for 7 from 3-point land. So you got people who can play their roles, and they're coming off the bench but doing well with the roles.
3 and
Right,
D
so
guys. 3 and
yeah,
D guys.
Yeah, I mean that Alexander Walker guy is making a believer out of me. Like I see that kid and I'm like, man, he goes hard every play, right? There's a play right before we got on here where he goes up to block it and they call a foul and they challenge it and he wins the challenge. Like he's going hard. He's pestering Jamal Murray. He's in Jamal Murray's head. Um, Jamal Murray's 3 for 18 today. Three
Yeah.
for 18, right? Like that's bad. Now he has 13 rebounds, which actually surprises me.
Well,
Um,
I'm sure,
you know,
it's just like us, right? When we're not scoring, okay, well, how else can I
find a way,
contribute?
yeah.
Yeah.
contribute. Yeah,
My
yeah.
shot's completely off. Okay, well, I'm not shooting. Looks like I'm going to try to get somebody else open and try to rebound. That's about the best I can do right now.
Right. No, agreed.
Because I mean, he doesn't always come out with 13 boards, but when you're when you're shooting like that. I mean, that's one of my stat lines right there. 3 for 18, 0 for 4 from 3-point line. Like, speaking of, are we playing ball this week? I don't think we ever got an answer about that. Are we playing ball this week?
I hope so.
We need to. We need to get out there. Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. Like, and keep in mind, this is in Denver.
I know.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part, guys.
That's
In
what's crazy to
Denver.
me is it's in Denver. Now, again, if any team can come back down 0-2 on the road, it would be this Nugget team. Like, and at the end of the day, the youth of the Timberwolves does scare me a little bit, right? Like in that game 7 last night or yesterday with the Orlando, right? They're up 17 points early in the first half, and you just felt like, man, once the Cavs get rolling, this thing's gonna be over. And sure enough, they folded. And don't get me wrong, Banchero came out. He made a believer out of me too, man. Like I didn't think that kid was gonna be anything, and I mean, he just looks big out there. He looks
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah.
He handles the court, but I mean, just too much Donovan Mitchell, who's a stud. I pray and hope he does not go to the Lakers. That's what every rumor is, and I'm sure every Laker fan already believes it. But
Contract's already
the
signed,
guy
probably.
is, huh?
Contract's probably already signed. Go ahead. Sorry about
I
that.
know,
Okay,
probably is.
first
LeBron,
off, don't put words in my mouth before you start going.
LeBron. I'm sure Andrews already thinks he's signed. I really hope you get Trey Young. To be honest with you, I would love to see that happen. But yeah, I mean, the reality is like it's kind of a fun time in the NBA, and I think that's what the NBA needed is kind of some new faces, new blood, right? I was at Sam's Club earlier with the family doing some shopping, and I see some guy on his phone watching the Knicks game, and I'm like, okay, like
Yeah.
you don't see this very often anymore. Like ratings are down. You guys hear about the TNT deal going potentially to a streaming service?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, so they're
Yeah.
they're talking about TNT losing all coverage on this and going straight to was it Apple TV or
I don't remember.
one of the
Yeah.
maybe Amazon, like the streaming platform. And so I guess there's this big controversy with Barkley and Ernie Johnson and all them. But it might be the little shakeup that the NBA needs because honestly the ratings are going down. And they haven't they're downwards trend. And luckily, they've been spending all this money on the WNBA because I think the WNBA trend is going up. So which Caitlin Clark in her preseason game looked just as good. I didn't think
Yeah.
she'd be able to come out and do that right away, but she looked amazing. So um
Just got to cut down on.
I saw something on Twitter that says she buy the WNBA League Pass. It's only $45 for the whole year. I think you may actually get a lot of people doing it, but then again, I think almost every Indiana game is going to be nationally televised because of what she's bringing. Like I want to take my kids, I want to take my girls and go see a WNBA game,
Why
and,
not?
Yeah.
and watch Caitlin
That's
Clark
cool.
here. I think that'd be amazing, right?
Why
Um,
not?
so yeah, the fever that it's bringing, no pun intended, is pretty cool, man. I'm excited for that. But even with the NBA, like going back to this, you got some good playoff series. That being said, I don't think the Cavs have a chance versus Celtics. You guys on board with that? Maybe a sweep?
Ooh, well, I thought it was going to be competitive, but didn't Mitchell come up hobbling and was like an if for game 7 and then decided I'm going to roll with it and then they took game 7? Is he still injured or
I
did
think
he
he's
get cleared
good.
out of
I'm
the
more worried about Jared Allen, to be honest. Jared Allen,
Yeah.
to me, I mean, if you can't go in game 7, you're done for the playoffs. Like I don't understand. Like if he comes back, like I question that man in general. Like how do you miss game 7 and you're able to play in the next series? Like to me, it's a big injury if you're missing game 7, right?
He is
I don't know,
talking as a Clipper fan who has
Well,
missed Kawhi left and right.
man.
did you
I
hear
don't
though
even
that
know.
did you hear Kawhi was available for game 7? We just didn't get there.
I did hear for the third straight year.
It's amazing.
Yeah, Kawhi, man, I'm done with Kawhi.
Who are you guys taking in that series? With the Celtics Cavs series?
Well, I mean,
4-0.
I was gonna say, if they're not healthy, I can see that as a sweep. I mean, I think the Cavs can steal one, but you're not beating the Celtics. Not in a
Is
7-game
Porzingis still out?
series.
He's
Yeah,
still out.
I think so.
I
But
think they said he's out for the playoffs.
it's not gonna matter.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not gonna
The
matter.
thing
for
is, they
them,
can't score. The Cavs can't score. I mean, versus
Outside of
Orlando, you
Donovan.
get one guy putting up 50 and you can't
Yeah.
get to 100 points. I mean,
Yeah.
and versus the highest scoring team in the NBA, and
Even
I
when
mean,
Allen's in, he doesn't get more than 15.
no,
He
I mean it's
doesn't.
more the defensive presence, right? The
Yeah,
rebounder. I mean, you take him
Yeah,
out.
I'm about to say.
You got Evan Mobley as your big back there. I don't know. Darius Garland's good. They're good. They're just not there. They're not at that
Yeah.
level. And I mean, they proved it versus Orlando. I mean, how many times did they? They almost lost that.
Almost
I mean,
lost it. Yeah.
when was the last time in the NBA you saw like a 30-5 run? Right? Like that's college stuff. This isn't NBA stuff, and that's what happened in that game 5. Or game 4. It's like what's going on here? I don't get it. And this Orlando team, that's a bunch of high school people out there, and they let this happen. So yeah, I don't think it's. I could see one game. I cannot see that thing going 6.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Although I do have Dallas beating OKC.
Oh, you do.
I do.
Dallas. Okay, who do you got in that OKC series, John?
Probably the same. I can't. Dallas is good. I mean, I love my Clippers, but Dallas is good. I think they come back and they have a little bit of breathing room, and I think they're gonna roll on. I don't think it goes past game 6 either. I don't. OKC might get one.
Man, I can't stand watching Luca though. The game
I get
slows
it.
down.
I
The
mean-
game slows down so much when he's got the ball. It's like I'm watching this game in slow mo, and then he like constantly yelling and one. I'm like,
Crying about
bro,
everything. I know.
everything, every shot he's screaming. It's like, man, I gotta watch the game on mute. I gotta put it on 2 fast forward speed just to enjoy it. Like he just, I know, Andrew. I'm so glad he's not here because he loves that stuff, and I'm like. It is just so slow. It's like dribble. The guy's behind me, dribble. He's on my hip. Look back, look back. Okay, put it up. Oh, foul. And one.
Yeah. Well,
I'm like,
hold on
and
now.
then look at the camera. This is
who
my house.
Did you just describe Luca or did you just describe Harden? Because that's what I swear that was Harden there with the
I was about
Rockets
to
right
say,
there.
Don't
Okay,
you
but
say
at least
Chris
Harden
Paul,
was
because I know
faster
Chris
with it,
Paul does
right?
that too.
At least Harden was faster with it. Like Harden is quicker than
He's
we're
got
not
a
gonna
faster
we're not
dribble.
gonna take that away from old legs Harden. He was quick. The game did not stop.
That's
Luka
not old
gets the
legs.
ball.
It was future Hall of Famer. Calm down.
Dude,
not
you
old
guys, he's gonna be a future Hall of Famer. I can't wait till this happens. But yeah, I mean, Luca is so slow out there, and it's like, and what I don't get is why doesn't Kyrie handle the ball more? Like, I want to watch Kyrie go, like,
Yeah.
and I mean, he's like, well, all of a sudden he's a perfect teammate, like,
Well,
I
think you call what Austin Reeves. What do you call him? Logo, right? But I think it's actually Luca, and I'm dead serious, right? I think everybody looks at Luca like he's like the guy. So you got to put it in his hands. You have to. I think even Kyrie knows that.
Yeah, but I think Kyrie's more the pop, right? The get the crowd
Oh,
excited.
definitely.
I mean, he's definitely the better man in that system.
If
The way he threads the needle through passing and just passing lanes, and he throws that ball, and that ball comes back, and it's in stride with somebody running to the bat. It's so pretty, man. I can't stand it that they crush the Clippers, but he's got a good game. I love that guy.
I've
Yeah.
always liked Kyrie's ability to finish around the basket, being able to spin it forward, backwards, different angles, rare angles. Like what in the world? That series, that championship with Golden State, where Kyrie kind of took over, like that was it for me. I was like, oh, I like this kid. If you had a choice to pick between Kyrie's handles or Steph's shooting ability, which would you pick?
Steph's shooting ability.
Yeah, same. I haven't been able to dribble all my whole life well, so I'd rather just shoot.
And I already got Kyrie's handle, so.
Oh my goodness. Let's slow it down a little bit there, big fella.
Where JC at? JC, come get your boy.
Reel him in, Tasty. Where are you at, man? Reel this guy back. Man, all right, that's
Well,
it.
it's a
That's the
good
final.
it's a
On
good
that-
thing.
Timberwolves Nuggets.
It's a good thing Drew's not here. You know, he would be calling himself Wemby the entire
Oh
the
yeah,
entire episode.
yeah.
So
That-
okay, let me double down then. Would you take shoes Steph's shooting ability or or Anthony Edwards? I don't even know what I would call that. Swag. Did you guys freeze?
no,
No,
I
well,
just-
I mean, so if he, I mean, is it his swag like current swag? Because Curry
Yeah.
has the shooting swag for a while, so it's like it's hard to not want that. But I mean, I guess I would still choose Curry. I mean,
Curry's won championships off of it. and
that's
until-
my point.
That's true.
Yeah, that's my point.
Until Ant-Man gets there, like, yeah, it's cool to see it, but it's not like it's the reason we like it at the end of the day is because it reminds us of Jordan, of Kobe, of the guys that got that fire, right? Now we'll see how long it lasts. We'll see how long what happens next, so to speak. But I still choose Curry shooting, man. Like the way he gets that ball off so quick out of his hand is pretty incredible.
Dude, his arc is insane. For sure. Without effortless shooting. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Well, we ended up getting a text from Drew saying that he was going to get on. And that was
I think he's just
what?
waiting for the NFL segment.
Oh, sweet. Let's go. Let's switch to the NFL. Have you guys seen anything come out of Niners camp at all with OTAs?
No,
Any hype,
other
any
than-
any
other
hype
than
around
we-
any players?
Ayuk's
Like,
still not signed for some reason.
no hype
Yeah.
no hype around any of your draft picks or any of your undrafted free agents?
I mean, T.O. wants to come and play with his son. So, I mean, his son went
That's no
undrafted,
surprise.
and T.O. wants like a 1-day contract. So, I mean, he could play tight end, I guess. He better block though, because I swear I'd bench him real quick if he don't block. He better block somebody. That big old body, he can still block. You better block somebody.
Yeah,
Nobody.
this is an interesting. I don't know. I'm honestly kind of nervous this year with our schedule and stuff. It's really. I'm still. I'm trying to forget about last year, but I just to be that close. Like there's a reason it's called the Super Bowl hangover. It's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be real tough.
I see it as a 10-win season, and I don't know that gets us in. I mean, it should, right? But I don't know that we should be able to take the division. I'll say that. I should say that we should be able to take the division. But Arizona could surprise you if their players start playing hard early. Seattle could do some things that maybe we weren't expecting. I'm not gonna say too much about Jimmy G, but I think I think the Rams were outside looking in, and I think a couple plays for a couple games that could have just turned a 7-point lead into a swing their way. I think they might be able to do something too. So that's actually probably the team that we need that we need to worry about. But I mean, I think that the Cardinals have a really good. Yeah, but I think the Cardinals would be right behind that, and then I don't know. You never count the Seahawks out. It's stupid to do that.
They got a new head coach though.
I'm really curious about that NFC North, man. That's gonna be a fun division to watch, and you feel bad for the Lions because they actually have a good team for once, but so does every other team in their division.
Yeah.
I mean, Vikings are your worst team, right? Like if you think about that, and just a couple years ago they were the favorites, right? And so
Yep.
I'm curious to see how that Bears look, but I can't wait for the schedule to release and find out, what our games look like, when we're playing who. I know we got the teams down, but it'll be interesting to see, when the games are and how many, West Coast, East Coast trips we have to do and stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. I think it releases here in a little bit, right? In July usually, or
Yeah. Yeah, right before August.
Sorry.
August.
No.
Are you
Dang.
guys
No, right
freezing up
before
at all
August.
or no?
It sounds
Are
like
you
I
guys?
it's
freeze
My
up.
my
second.
screen keeps my screen keeps freezing up. Do you guys? Are you guys? Is it just on my end, or are you seeing it too, John? From
No,
Mike or
I
no?
think it was you. I think it was you, dude.
I think
Okay.
it's just you.
All right.
I tested my internet speed before I got on this time. Make sure the router was working properly, and I'm good on my end.
Okay. I just see little moments here.
Drew's in here just chatting up away in the comments. Can't jump on.
Just flip
You
the
like you
camera
Yeah.
on, bro. What are we
sounds like
doing?
Hawaii right now. I'm gonna commit to
Hey,
you,
Drew. We,
Team
we came to
USA.
a we came to a consensus, Drew, that Lakers definitely should have lost the playing game, and because they wouldn't have had to face the Nuggets at all. But you missed that part, so we just put you down in agreement.
Yep, Drew, you're already down 0-2, man. This is not a good look for you. Not a good look for you, sir. I'm just kidding. No, we
Hey, what
should be
about the
all right.
Raiders? You hear about their training camp?
Yeah, they're gonna be bringing it out here. Yes, bringing it to SoCal. Let's go.
Have you ever been to any of
Let's
those training
go.
camps?
I have. I mean, well, I did with the Seahawks, but that was back when they still had the Legion of Boom, and so there was a lot of hype. You know, a lot of hype around those teams, and it was just close.
Yeah.
It
They're
is
fun, man. The Rams do the Rams do like a little event over here, and because I'm a season ticket holder, they send me like an email and invite and stuff. I was able to take the kids one year. They had a little play area, a little fake football field over there for them,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
then
Nope.
the players were over there. It's over there in Irvine, so it's a cool little gig. Little giveaways and stuff like that. But my kids had a pretty decent time.
I was gonna take Damien to the Oxnard one for the Cowboys.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's a Cowboy fan. I'll swallow that up, but
poor kid.
yeah, I know. Well, what are you gonna do? I
Do we
still
need
love
to
him
have
at the
it?
end of the day. So
Do we need to have intervention here? Like what?
Yeah.
it's not my team, but I might take him down there this year. He said he went one time before. He said it was fun, so I might take him this year.
Nice,
That's
nice.
cool.
It's
That'll be fun.
definitely been. If you get a chance to go through some of the training facilities, it's pretty cool. Seahawks has a pretty cool training facility. Got to work out in their weight room and
Oh, cool.
take kids through, do some weightlifting competitions and do some drills on their indoor field.
Nice.
Because Seahawks have one indoor field and they have, I want to say it's 3, or maybe it's only 2 outdoor fields, but it's like right up against the water. That's like the one thing that Seattle does pretty good with is like, oh, hey, we're gonna build a stadium. Well, let me build it right on the lake. Like, we're gonna build a facility. Hey, we're gonna build this one right on the lake too, so you can just look at the water.
Nice.
Back when they had Jimmy Graham, like Jimmy Graham would fly his seaplane into like right next to the field. So
That's
that
funny.
was always good to see. Drew, man, you just got to come on. We're not going to agree with you. He said he doesn't agree if the Lakers can't beat the Nuggets, they don't deserve a chip. I'm not going to post your comments anymore, Drew, until you actually show your face.
You have a 10-minute timeout, sir.
This whole thing right here, this not working.
I just love that they're proving my point that they should have lost the game. That's fantastic. I mean, it's it's just a good decision, man.
I'm saying like I don't necessarily know if I want to play the Mavericks the way they're playing right now. I mean,
True.
Get you one step further though. I mean,
okay, one step.
I mean, let me ask you this: How do the Lakers match up? How do the Lakers match up against the Timberwolves? Pretty decent, I would
They
think, right?
they actually played the Timberwolves fairly well.
Well, so did the
But
Suns in the regular
yeah,
season, but
exactly.
but I mean,
But
from like a matchup from a personnel perspective, right? Like Anthony Davis could bang with Gobert, LeBron could guard Cat, right? Jamal Murray, you got the logo on Jamal Murray probably. I mean, they match up pretty decent versus the Timberwolves. So I actually think that's one team that the Timberwolves probably didn't want to see was the Lakers. So, it's you know I think it's they should have lost. I'm doubling down on that, Andrew. They should have lost that
should have
game,
lost.
and they should have went in as an 8 seed versus OKC. Beat the Mavericks, beat Timberwolves, and then
Okay,
lose in the finals to
so
the Celtics.
and Cade Cunningham is not the worst player in the NBA. There you go.
yeah, he met Edwards, not Murray. He meant Edwards. So let's say hypothetically Lakers did lose that game, that playing game, play OKC, and they win against OKC. Let's say they lose this matchup with the Mavericks. Darvin Ham still getting canned?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Here's the thing. I saw a stat the other day that said of LeBron's 9 coaches that he had, 8 of them got fired from their team.
I'm telling you,
Man,
dude,
that's crazy.
that guy's
The only
got
one-
so much
The only
power.
one that's left is Spolstra.
Spolstra. I was about to
So
say.
at some point, like that's a pretty telling stat, right?
Pretty much, and I'm pretty sure the Lakers actually like listened to our podcast because they ended up getting rid of Darvin Ham. I'm pretty sure they're
Yeah.
just paving this way for JJ Redick to come on board as a
Well,
brand new head coach.
isn't that what one of the things that were leaked that they were just finalizing the deal with JJ Redick, like a 4-year deal or something like that?
I
Really?
haven't seen it.
Yeah, I saw
I don't
something
know.
like that. So I was like, oh, there you go, it's Redick. Because I can't see Ty Lue saying, man, I want to go work with LeBron again. And, I can't see that.
I think JJ Redick was very smart in saying, "Hey, I want to do a podcast with LeBron. I'm trying to get into coaching, right? And
Yeah.
let's just talk plays while we're at it. Hey, 2015 split screen, right? The split action, hardest thing to guard. This is why, right? Like this is why we want to do it. This is how we should guard it." I'm like, wow. If I didn't see a resume being
Push.
brought out to a guy. Good grief.
I just wonder how all the other players are going to respond to that, right? Like knowing it's LeBron's guy. Like, I don't know. I just think from a personnel standpoint, that's not the best look that the Lakers organization, right? Like,
Yeah,
should do.
I think I hear you on that, but I would think that JJ is going to be on people's butts. Like that's not Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham's like, how can I be your friend? And I'm sure it's probably not true, but it's just kind of the persona of how he is. Like JJ Redick's like, curse this and curse that, and so I feel like he's
Yeah.
going to get some people in line. I do.
Yeah, but I mean, he's got no coaching experience yet, right? Like,
Sure.
I mean, I
And
don't see him going from a podcaster to a coach, a head coach of a very good team.
Jason Kidd just got re-signed, if that means anything.
Yeah.
He had no experience at all. They put him in, and now he's getting a second deal, second go around. So I don't know if it's just because it's the team that's built around him that he probably doesn't have to do too much, but you got to start somewhere.
I think I'm more interested to see who the candidates they're actually looking at. I mean, everybody else is pretty much locked up. Everybody that's decent is pretty much locked up, right? So then now what? Like,
Yeah.
now what? Drew said podcaster. He went from NBA player to NBA coach. Yeah, I mean,
That doesn't always translate.
It's not
though.
Jake Paul. Like, we're not saying like
Yeah, I don't even think we gotta read Drew's comments anymore. You gotta hop on, buddy. Like don't get in our conversation if you can't be in our conversation.
Hey, well, you got a little JJ Redick in you there.
There we
Breaking
go. That's all it
news!
took.
Look at
Thank
him.
you.
What's up?
That's what I needed right there.
What did
I'm
he
not
say?
ready, guys. Come on, I
It
wasn't
does
ready.
not matter. You're ready.
I'm sitting here walking around.
Oh, I like the little basketball hoop you just had.
Oh, you like that in the background right here?
And
All right.
dunking on his kids all day.
Yeah, JJ
Hey, you
Redick.
missed-
I haven't heard that he actually got an offer. By the way,
Okay.
I
You
think
missed us talking about my handles being like Kyrie on basketball.
So,
And we were waiting for you to say Wimby.
if you're
Yeah.
comparing that to our skill level, then yes, I'll agree with that. To my skill level.
It's over there.
Yeah. Anyways, all I can say is that the
We're taking a
Timberwolves
tour
are
of his house.
a much better defensive team than the Lakers, and that's obvious in this whole series. It's like crazy, and their coach is definitely smarter. No offense, Darvin Ham. Kind of offense, a little bit.
Well,
But
he's not their coach anymore, so
yeah, I actually like. I think Darvin Ham's probably a great guy. Like he seems like a really cool guy. No, I would never like judge him because he's much better coach than I could ever be. But just
well,
like
I heard Orlando. I heard there was a couple teams already interested in him. Did you guys hear about that?
Mm-mm.
I don't remember who they were, but they said there's 2 teams already interested in Darvin Ham.
that's wild.
Yeah,
The
so-
Indiana Fever. And
I just felt like we ran back the same game plan, in 2 playoffs in a row against the Nuggets, and it didn't work both times. And I was like, I didn't see any difference, any changes, no major like adjustments. So yeah, I don't know. It just seems kind of weird to me. Like you want that guy to be your coach. No offense to him, but he should have done a little more than that. I like how the Wolves they're playing to their strengths. They're young. They're intense on defense. They guard Jokic. Like Jokic likes to bring the ball up. As soon as he touches it, they got someone dogging him already, all over him, making him work hard. The only way to beat star players is making them work hard offensively and defensively. And you're trying to get them tired, try to get their shooting percentages down because they're tired. And that's what they're doing to Jokic, and it's going to work if the Nuggets don't figure something else out. So, and then after Jokic works his butt off to even get in position, he still has to deal with Towns and Gobert in the front court there. So, yeah, it's a tough matchup for them.
what they end up winning by? They ended up winning by 20?
A lot.
26.
It
They
was
won by
106 to 80. But I mean, look at the defense. Like 32 defensive rebounds. You had 11 steals, 12 blocks. Like super
Lengthy,
awesome.
man.
And then they got
19
16
turnovers,
turnovers
right?
that they took.
And they
Yeah,
did all
that
that
they took
without
from-
Gobert.
Correct. Yeah, exactly.
And they did all that without Gobert. Gobert wasn't even there this
It's
game.
kind of wild because I was listening to Bill Simmons' podcast like earlier today, and he was talking about the Wolves, and he was like, I've watched a lot of NBA, and there's something like I did not expect this first one, but there's something about this team that just makes me think they might just surprise us and just sweep the Nuggets. And he like kind of called it. He's like, I know this is crazy. I know people are gonna like freak out when I say this, but like, he's like, I'm thinking above. He was talking about the Bulls and the Pistons in '91. He's like, there was kind of this moment where the Bulls won the first game, and I was like, oh yeah, it's the Pistons though. You know, they just won 2 championships in a row. They're come back and they're gonna, end it. And he's like, and then the Bulls swept them, just got them out of the playoffs and won the championship that year. And he's like, the T Wolves are like playing with this kind of like intensity and stuff right now. And then with this game, I'm like, oh my gosh, is this guy right? Like, this is not very often. And then like something like a 22-year-old guy doing what he's doing right now, like there's only a few guys that have done something.
Yeah, but that's
so
the
far.
difference with that Pistons team is they did have experience, right? Like until I don't know that I could go
No,
that
no,
far
no.
yet and say, hey,
The Bulls swept the Pistons in '91. That's what I'm talking about.
right? But the Bulls had experience, right?
I mean, yes. I mean, they never won.
But they
They
had
got
older guys on their team, didn't they? Have who was their center at that time?
probably
It
Cartwright.
was before Luke Longley, right? It was
Yeah, it's Cartwright.
Cartwright, and he had won a championship with the Knicks, right? Or
Horace
got
Grant, Cartwright. I'm not sure if he'd won
Horace
before that.
Grant.
Maybe.
Horace Grant was with Orlando, right?
Well, no, this was before Orlando days. Horace Grant was still pretty young. Because this was '91. This would be the beginning of their first three-peat. And then Horace Grant went to Orlando in the Shaq days before the second three-peat for the Bulls. But anyways, the point is like this Wolves team is doing some things that is kind of like no one expected this, right? No one
Agreed.
expected them to do this, but
Agreed.
like if they win this series like they are now, they've got to be the favorite to come out of the West, and nobody's beating them but the Celtics. That's like the only hope, and that's if Porzingis is healthy.
It's
So
crazy how far they've came from, you know, in a year, right? I mean, you're
Yeah.
talking
Yep.
about from being what, a 6-7 seed last year. Did they play in the playing game last year?
they played in the play-in.
Yeah.
They lost to the
Right.
Lakers.
Right.
They lost to the Lakers and had to be the 8th seed, and they lost to the Nuggets in the first round last season. They took 2 games from the Nuggets though. They took it to 6 last season before getting bounced. And then we were all saying that the Gobert trade was one of the worst trades in the history of the NBA, which they still overpaid. I'm sorry, they did still overpay for him, in my opinion. I'm not going to change on that, but they gave up five first-round picks for him or something like that. That's a lot.
Well, yeah, but they did get Connolly out of it, right?
I think Conley was later in the D'Angelo Russell trade. So, which I kind
Oh,
of
he
sad.
wasn't part of the same trade?
I wish the Lakers went after Conley instead of D'Lo, but I think they wanted the younger guy, right?
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? I'm pretty sure we're about 7 minutes away from reaching our goal of keeping Drew awake the entire episode. Dude, this is amazing. Congratulations.
Way to
Everyone
go.
watching this podcast right now is just amazed.
Because I'm walking
at-
around, it's a little easier, you know. So
Let's start talking about NFL and see if he lasts.
no, wait a minute. Let's see where it goes. Timber.
I'll just log off at that point, guys.
So who are you thinking? Who are you thinking wins it all right now, Andrew? Are you still on that Celtics train?
Ugh. I don't want
I
the
know,
Celtics to win, man. So, how long is
Can they win
Porzingis
it
out? I
without
actually don't know.
Porzingis?
If they don't have Porzingis, I don't think it's them. I think that other team. I think whoever gets there, right? The Nuggets. If it's the Nuggets or the Wolves, I think those are the teams that come out of the West. I don't think it's Thunder or Mavs. So I'm gonna pick one of those teams that come out of the West: the Thunder or the Wolves. Sorry, the Nuggets or the Wolves. And then if there's no Porzingis, I think both of those teams can beat the Celtics. So I actually think the Knicks are going to do well against the Celtics if they get there. I think they match up well, but especially if Porzingis isn't in the game. But I don't know if anyone can beat the
You know
Celtics in the
he
East.
wants to come back for that series for sure, right?
Yeah, right? Is the team that drafted him?
Yeah.
I hope so. For the NBA's sake, that would be a great finals, Eastern Conference Finals, Celtics, Knicks. That would be amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Stephen A is having his way right now with the Knicks going wild.
What about Cavs? We talked about the Cavs. What do you think? Like that's a sweep.
Do they
right?
even have a chance? Are
No.
they even going to get 2 games, 1 game?
I think they get one. I think they can have one. Donovan. I mean the Heat. Well, I actually think the Heat are better than the Cavs. So, Donovan Mitchell can put up 50. He put up 50 against the Magic, and they still lost in Game 6. How crazy is that? Donovan Mitchell scored 50 points in Game 6 and still lost to the Magic. like Paulo Banchero second. He's like isn't he second year in the league right now? He's still a new star, up and coming star. So that's crazy to me. I just don't think the Cavs are well balanced. I think Mitchell and Garland kind of just take all the shots, and they're going to struggle against the Celtics defense. The Celtics have so many good perimeter defenders. I mean, Drew Holiday, White, Tatum, Brown, they're all four of them can play perimeter defense, and they're all great perimeter defenders. So it's going to be a really rough series for the Cavs, I think. But I think they can get one. They go off one game, shoot a bunch of threes or something. I mean, it can happen.
OKC or Mavericks?
Mavs
all the way. I think
Mavs all the way. I just don't. I think SGA is great. I think Chet's too young. Give Chet like 1 or 2 more years to develop more, and they're going to be really, really, really hard to beat. Let them fill out. But right now, the Mavs are playing amazing defense. Actually, the last, I think, quarter of the season, they're one of the top defenses in the league, the Mavs, since they made some trades with Lively and Gafford. They're playing great defense. And then playoff Kyrie is just going off. So I don't think OKC is going to be able to shut down Luka and Kyrie. And the Mavs are playing great defense, and they're more experienced. They've been here before. I think they beat OKC in 6.
Hypothetical question. Let's say OKC ends up winning the series. Let's say it goes 7 games. They end up taking it.
Yeah.
Minnesota sweeps Nuggets.
Whoa.
And they're out. Well, we'll say sweep, right?
Yeah.
If that ends up happening, and you end up having Minnesota and OKC in the conference championship, does that give SGA a higher edge? MVP?
It would. It's like kind of inexperience against inexperience, maybe. The thing is with the Wolves is they're better defensively and they're bigger. Thunder just lacks size. They have Chet, and I actually don't even know who's their other centers on that team. Who are their other bigs?
I don't know. What do they got? Gordon Hayward playing? They got him playing the floor?
I don't know exactly. He plays like 10 minutes a game, so if that. So I just think that I think Wolves are just bigger, and right now Edwards is having the best playoff performance. Probably him and probably Jalen Brunson are playing the most amazing playoff games we've seen in a while. So SGA's been good, but he got to play the Pelicans, so who cares?
The Zion list Pelicans.
Edwards is taking on the Nuggets right now.
Should have been the Lakers.
Yeah.
Guys are too much. I actually got some stuff lined up for next week. I'm hoping to get an ex-NFL player to come on the podcast that you guys can interview. A good friend of mine was number 9 overall pick in the NFL draft.
Dang, look at that.
When he got drafted. Absolute stud in high school, stud in college, and was in the league for I think he was in the league for 5 years. So and he knows who I'm talking about. If he's watching right now, he knows who I'm talking about because I hit him up earlier this week. But hopefully we'll get that lined up for you guys next week. For those that are still watching, make sure you let me put that up. Boom. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Jam Pack Podcast. That's Jam with 2 M's. Right. Click on that notification button to view us live. We are live every Monday night, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Jam Pack Podcast, on Twitter at Jam Pack Pod, and check us out at jampack.com. Let me take that off. Make sure you guys are.
Could we get Andrew to commit to being on next week at the time to see that ex-NFL player or no?
Or he's gonna log off when he jumps on.
I know, right? Yeah, we're gonna need a
Can't mess
verbal
up the four
commitment here.
squares. You know?
Hey, our the guy who joined us last time, Richie, said he used to be a fan of his, so he wanted to get on and ask some questions too. So I
Oh
told him
yeah,
I'd see if I can make that
yeah,
happen,
that's
but-
what's up.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
That's
neat.
what's
dude.
up.
Heck
Yeah,
heck
Richie, I'll
yeah.
get you on, my man. I'll get you
Let's
on.
go.
Yeah, dude, we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen.
Exciting.
We'll go ahead and sign off for this week. Make sure you guys are taking care of one another. Be safe out there, and we'll see you guys next week. Later, fellas.
Peace out, guys.
Bye, guys.